Welcome to the second part of my ongoing series, Poppy's Journey Through Genres, where I go through the lore behind all of Poppy's albums and her musical journey as a whole, how she went to sounding like this, to sounding like this. So with that being said, before we get into Poppy.Computer, let me briefly fill you in on 336. To end the bubble bath era, Poppy parted ways with Island Records, which very obviously needed to happen, and then she released an ambient album called 336 Music to Sleep To. 336 references a video Titanic's former collaborator Mars Argo made that ran for 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Honestly, the video is kind of dark, and I don't really want to talk about it here because it could be triggering to people, but if you want to watch it, you can look it up. So yes, this was a direct reference to Mars Argo that Poppy actually did frequently in her videos.
336? 336? Oh no, I'm late. I'm so sorry, but I have to get going. 3 plus 3 equals 6. I can't believe it's 336.
So with that, 336 was Poppy's first project released without a major label. It always confused me why Poppy referenced 336 so much, considering it was connected to such a sensitive video. Just seemed kind of odd. After leaving Island Records to write Poppy.Computer, Poppy traveled to Japan with Titanic and Matt Bennett.
Bravorazzi, starring Robbie Shapiro.
According to the Poppy Wiki, the album was confirmed to be worked on when Bennett posted a 9-second clip to his Snapchat playing her song Pop Music. I consider Poppy.Computer to be like the soundtrack to the world that Poppy and Titanic built on YouTube. One song from Poppy.Computer that ties into this is My Style, which features a frequent character on Poppy's YouTube channel, Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte is a mannequin, and she has a very ominous computerized voice. It seemingly fits the soulless nature of Poppy's typical videos. When Poppy and Charlotte interact, oftentimes Charlotte can be a bit mean. She's almost rooted in jealousy of Poppy, and as the videos go on, the jealousy just grows deeper and stronger from Charlotte. I would say what Poppy.Computer did well was world building. It was another insight into the character that was Poppy, but we also got a peek at some other characters in our world like Charlotte, we just talked about her, but also Computer Boy. Computer Boy was actually first mentioned in Poppy's lore by Charlotte with the video I Was Worried.
When are you going to learn? Who is Computer Boy? Who is Computer Boy? Who is Computer Boy?
But on top of the world building in this album that stems from the That Poppy YouTube channel, this album also touches on some serious real-world issues like internet addiction and how that can affect a person. On the song Computer Boy, internet addiction is portrayed as Poppy being in love with her computer. It's romanticized so much to the point that it seems eerie to be having this much emotion for something heartless like a computer. But I mean, at the same time, you could maybe argue that Poppy's character was heartless herself, due to the fact that she rarely showed any emotion on camera. The album rollout began with the release of I'm Poppy on Valentine's Day of 2017. I'm Poppy was a reference to her viral video that I spoke about in the previous part titled under the same name. Then that song was followed by Computer Boy. And to confirm what I said about this album being the soundtrack to her YouTube channel, the third single was Let's Make a Video. Then to wrap up the single releases, Interweb was released on July 17th, 2017, and My Style featuring Charlotte came out September 1st, 2017. Poppy.Computer was released on October 6th of 2017, and the J-pop influence definitely shines through in this album in almost every track. But it also has such a different sound from anything else I've ever heard. The album is definitely too weird in its themes and sounds to align with mainstream music, but it is definitely a pop record with electronic and J-pop influences. It's also definitely original and uniquely that Poppy. I mean, these songs would make zero sense for any other artist, but with the strange world Poppy created on YouTube with Titanic, it worked pretty well as a project in my eyes. I also think it would be good to note that Titanic had writing and production credits all over this album. The standout tracks for me are definitely Computer Boy, Interweb, and my personal favorite track from Poppy.Computer, Bleach Blonde Baby. I will admit, this album has a super cohesive sound to it. It definitely had a vision, and that was executed very well in my opinion. Today, in 2025, Poppy doesn't really ever play songs from Poppy.Computer.
Certain songs sometimes, I think, for me, I don't play anymore because they're just a little bit too of a certain time period.
They just remind you too much of a different period of...
Yeah, but if people like them, I'm sorry.
I guess it would be a bit like going back to like a house you used to live in or a town you used to live in, and that kind of weird feeling where you know that you don't quite belong there anymore.
As we go through her albums, this one kind of becomes an old relic. I mean, I don't doubt if a lot of modern Poppy casual listeners have no idea about this album. Poppy.Computer is just so of its time. In between Poppy.Computer and her next project, Mars Argo filed a lawsuit against Titanic Sinclair and Poppy. Titanic was sued for domestic violence, then Titanic and Poppy were sued for copyright infringement, violation of right of publicity, and violation of California's unfair business laws. The lawsuit came after 3 years of Mars Argo being silent on social media. Surprisingly, Poppy did respond candidly on Twitter, calling the accusations false, while also accusing Josh Moran, a collaborator of Mars's, of alleged misconduct towards her. Poppy claimed that these two pairing up was an attempt to manipulate her psychologically. Why do I mention the lawsuit when this is a video about music? Well, I think it's very relevant as we go into the themes of future albums. A lawsuit is very real. Poppy had to step out from behind her usual persona. Although I don't think the lawsuit is mentioned in Am I a Girl due to it being filed so close to the album's release, I theorize that allegedly, it could be possible that Poppy references it on I Disagree in the song Anything Like Me, but we will touch on that in a future video. Ultimately, the lawsuit was dropped and it was settled out of court. In the settlement, all photographic blackmail Titanic allegedly owned over Mars Argo was destroyed. She also had a restraining order filed against Titanic, and 100% of the Mars Argo Inc. project was given to Mars Argo. Also, Poppy and Titanic would no longer be able to speak about Mars Argo publicly on social media again.
It's a mystery.